Well, I've cut up the piece of cherry that will make up the back of the table here. So it's in 3 pieces. So this is the larger one. I put the tenons on there, 3/4 inch tenons. I've got to cut some mortises here to slide that in, but this will be the left hand of the knuckle joint or hinge. For the swing, this is the piece for the swing, and will be the other half of the knuckle joint that will go there. And then lastly, there's a small piece that will go in here that I've got to put the mortise in yet. And both of these short pieces are glued to the back, this back piece here, and that's how the rear is held together. So a unique piece of joinery there. So the next thing I'll do is put in the straight mortises there, and then start to work on the hinge joint here. Using one of my hollow planes that I made a few years ago to put the radius onto the end of the swing arm. And I've got a stop block here to keep it from tearing out. It looks pretty good. Right there. Well, if I did it right, there's the layout for the hinge. So the short end has two fingers, I guess, and the long end has the 3 fingers. So it's like cutting out dovetails. You always cut on the waist side of the line, and then that should fit together. So we'll get started with the sawing. Cutting out the hinges knuckle joint. I'm chopping out the hinges now. Very similar to chopping out dovetails. Only these are 7/8 of an inch thick cherry. And it's pretty hard. Meaning that the wood is pretty hard. There's 2 done. 1 more to go. I'm putting the curve on the inside of the knuckle joint here, or hinge, and I'm using a number 5. 1 inch number 5 that I got. It fits there really nice. So it's just a matter of using the carving chisels. In here will be a little bit different story, so it'll be a little more difficult because you can't get at it from the side, from inside. I'm carving out the hollow now on the knuckle joint, and I've got this from depth measure here set at the correct depth, so you can see I've got a little more to go there. So there's not much you can do but to carve across grain to get the correct depth in the shape. And I work from both sides.
WCL base provided by Larchmere Oriental Rugs since 2001, featuring an inventory of handmade original Oriental rugs and traditional and transitional designs.
It helps to have good sharp carving tools.
9802.
Still needs to go about another 30-second. Well, I'm ready to drill the hole for the pin for the knuckle joint, and it's offset from the center of this circle So there's a larger part on this side, so that when it swings, this material will come out and hit the back here, which I'm gonna shave off later, so that the swing will only be 45 degrees and then stop. So that's how it's accomplished. The drill is a 1/4 inch drill, and I've got it centered here, so we'll give it a shot. And we'll see how well you can see this. So I've drilled the holes and fitted it in here. I also flattened this edge over here, which allows the thing to swing at a 45-degree angle. And it came out pretty straight. I've got this metal shaft with a 1/4 inch bolt. And it fits down in there. We can always switch it to wood after if we want to be more traditional, or we can leave it metal and it might last longer. So the way it's supposed to work, this is the backer board, and we try to keep it parallel, and it swings out this way to there, and when this is clamped here, tied up, this will be glued on to the backer board. The flat hits right there, so it'll stop, and I use my square here to set 45 in there, and so it rises a little bit out here, but I could loosen the hinge a little bit. I think it'd come down, but it's no more than a, I don't know, 64th maybe, so that should be all right. So I got to put a tenon on the end of here and the other leg, and I got to finish this tenon off and fit it in there. So we're going to start fiddling with the this joint on the table. Well, I've temporarily assembled the back leg. As you can see, that's the swing leg, so it's mortised into the leg here. The backer piece is just held in here by the clamps, but this piece here will be glued to the back. Likewise, this is mortised into here and will be glued to the back, and that's how the strength comes from the back. This is of course the knuckle joint, and of course the leg is mortised into here, and then it stops at 45, and the backer piece is falling out. So it stops here because of the flat that there is on the back. So it's coming along pretty good. I think you can see this line here this is where it has to be cut out so that this leg can swing closed, and then the whole back piece here has to be sawed off so that it can fit underneath the 5-inch. So this will be only 7/8 of an inch thick, and you have to slice it all the way down and then create a shelf here at 5 inches, which would be about that deep there. So it'll come out 7/8 of an inch there, so you have to carve that, saw that off, and so that it cleans up. So that's the next step, is to cut that off in the back, but otherwise it's pretty good. I'm still using the metal pin because it's easier to get in and out than a wood one. Well, I took some of the pieces apart here. This is the rear leg, or swing leg, and it needed to be cut off. Here, we'll put it the way it was. So I cut this off with the bandsaw and made a cut across the bottom here first, and then laid it into the bandsaw and cut it down. So we have the mortise back here, and we haven't tried this yet, so we'll do it live on TV and see how it fits. So that's how it fits in there. That's not bad. And then this piece, I probably should rescribe the line now that it is in there. This piece is mortised in here and needs to be cut down along here so that it completes the rear. And then we're ready for glue up of the whole thing, I think. Oh, I have to cut out the pattern onto the two front sides yet. I have a new saw blade on order, so I'm waiting for that to come, so we'll cut that out hopefully tomorrow. Well, I traced the scallop pattern onto the bottom edge of the two sides, so now it's a matter of bandsawing it out. So there's the swing leg fitted here with the small filler block that's here. This area we have a knee block that belongs here that'll have to be shaped up against that yet, and of course another knee block there. I'm having a little trouble with the hinge here. It's sticking up about a 32nd of an inch. Which means that this, either the swing arm is, because it's flush down there, but it is going uphill here a hair, so it's either too tall or this one's too short. It need to be up about a 32nd of an inch. I know they're the same length. See, if I raise it here, then it's flush with it, and it swings, so I've got to do some adjustment there. Well, it's glued up with the old brown glue, hide glue, and I heated it to get it nice and liquidy, and slipped the pieces together, and then of course attached a couple of strap clamps here. The weights on the top are to keep it flat on the table, so you either glue it down this way with the feet down on a flat surface, or turn it upside down and make sure that the top is completely flat. But I prefer this way because I don't want it rocking on the feet, and I can always adjust the top a little bit, but I think it's flush there as well. So now the glue's got a set, and then we'll do some final fitting with the joints, and then the corners have to be rounded over, knee blocks have to be made, so we've got a bit of work here to do yet.